live streamed. I'm Councillor Janet Evans, and I will be chairing this meeting. The committee for this hearing comprises Councillor David Lindsay, Councillor Abdullahi, and myself. We are joined by Fiona Johnson from the Council's licensing team, our legal officer, Lindsay Lemasurier. Also with us are our committee officers, Holly Weaver and Jerome Treherne. Before we start the hearing for this case, just a few ground rules. Please keep your microphones on mute until you are invited to speak, as only 2 microphones can be in use at any time, and please make sure mobile phones are on silent. Thank you. The case before us today is to grant a license for Star Kebab, 178 Earls Court Road. Now for declarations of interest. I confirm that I have no declaration of interest to make regarding this item. Do the other members have any declarations to make? Councillor Lindsay?
No, Madam Chairman.
Councillor Noor?
No, Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. For clarity, I will briefly outline the procedure of the meeting, which has already been circulated with the papers. First, the licensing officer, Ms. Johnson, will give a brief outline of the application. Please, could you confirm your attendance?
Present, Chair.
Thank you. Then I will ask the applicant, Mr. Ismail Khan, to present his submission. He will have up to a maximum of 10 minutes to do so. Please, could you confirm your attendance?
I'm here, Madam, present here.
Thank you. Then questions may be asked of the applicant by members of the committee, the legal officer, and the objectors. Next, the supporter objectors. Mr. Brian Stevens, Councillor Linda Wade, Robert Thurigi. Any others?
Nobody ever can get my name right.
How do I pronounce it?
Thurigil. It's an L in the back, not an I. But never mind, it is a difficult tongue breaker of a name. I wasn't up to even the start.
Oh, Thurigil. Sorry.
We know who you are now.
Yes.
So thank you.
Any other objectors? No. Okay. They will have up to a maximum of 10 minutes each to do so. Please, could you all confirm your attendance?
Brian Stevens.
Thank you.
Present, Chair.
So, Mr. Thurigil, you're speaking, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And Federico, you're not speaking? No. Okay. Thank you. Then questions may be asked of the supporter/objectors by members of the committee, the legal officer, and the applicant. After this, we will ask our legal officer, Ms. Lemasurier, to deal with any questions she may have, and then she will lead on the draft conditions session. The list of potential conditions has been circulated to all of the parties prior to the hearing. Please, could you confirm your attendance?
Present, Chair.
Thank you. Then finally, we will turn to the governance team to see if any issues have been raised that we need to consider. There'll be no summing up, and the meeting will end. I'd like to remind everyone that the committee has read the papers, which comprises the main pack, and the additional submission concerning noise and nuisance, withdrawal of their representation, having agreed conditions with the applicant. These have been circulated to the parties, so there's no need to repeat their content, but please do draw our attention to certain points and pages. Now let's get going. Ms. Johnson, please can you outline the case for us and advise if there have been any additional documentation received?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, all. Today's application has been submitted by Earls Court Food Limited for the grant of a premises licence in respect of Star Kebab House, 178 Earls Court Road, SW5. The premises has been licensed for many years, originally as a late-night cafe until 5 a.m. under the London Local Authorities Act 1990. The licence was then converted into a premises licence under the new Licensing Act 2003, which came into effect in 2005. The original converted premises licence ran continuously until 2012, until it came to light that the company holding the premises licence had been wound down, which led to the lapsing of the premises licence. A new grant was applied for and granted in 2013 to 2 a.m. A variation application was also submitted later that year to extend the hours and review certain conditions. However, a copy of today's application can be found at Appendix A and seeks the grant of a new premises licence to permit the provision of late-night refreshment indoors and outdoors for the following hours: Sunday to Thursday, 11 p.m. until 4 a.m, and Friday to Saturday, 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. Although the licensable activity includes both indoors and outdoors, there is no external licensed area, and outdoors in this instance refers to food and drink to take away. The application initially attracted a representation from the authority's noise and nuisance team, and a further 112 representations opposing the application, including 3 from the local ward councillors and several local residents' associations. The representation from the noise and nuisance team has now been withdrawn, as the applicant has accepted the conditions they had proposed within their representation. A summary of the remaining representations have been summarised within the report, and copies can be found at Appendix E. The licensing authority has also received 5 representations supporting the application. The representations have also been summarised within the report, and copies can be found at Appendix F. At the time of writing the report, no noise complaints have been received in the preceding 24 months. In the past year, the premises has been the subject of 2 temporary event notices, a list of which is attached as Appendix G. There are a number of additional documents that have been circulated. One is the list of proposed conditions, which was circulated earlier this week. The other additional document is an email from the Noise and Nuisance team withdrawing their representation. And I understand that there have been some late submissions this morning or late last night from Councillor Wade. And through you, Chair, could I go through governance to clarify what those documents are?
Sorry, if you don't mind me stepping in here, Chair. We obviously haven't seen these documents and the committee have to agree to them being submitted. So I would suggest that, governance, do you have copies of these documents?
Thank you. So they are currently being printed. It's taking a little while due to some network issues we're currently having in the town hall, but they are currently being printed, and as soon as they are, they'll be brought to this hearing. We'll be able to circulate them to all parties, and at that point I would suggest that we adjourn to allow everyone time to read their contents, and then it will be up to the committee to admit them to the hearing. So that I'll hopefully have them as soon as possible, but we do have them currently being printed.
Thank you. Obviously, the committee need to see them before they can decide whether to admit them or not. Subject to what the parties think, what I suggest we do, because we don't know exactly how long it's going to take before you receive the copies, perhaps if all the parties are in agreement, we can continue with the applicant's case, and then hopefully by that point we'll have received your documents and the committee can consider whether to admit them, and then we can have the Germans read them and then continue.
I think it was because there was, at the beginning of the week, because of the problems that we're experiencing, there was kind of a gap in some of the paperwork which referred to the hearing which was on the 21st of January 2014, which had a note from Mr. Mahaffey which acknowledged noise and acknowledged that there was perhaps resident fatigue and complaining. So I think that the point about the documentation is to demonstrate that despite conditions being proposed or issues being raised, that they still haven't been effectively resolved.
How many pages, I mean, how big is this document we're looking at?
It's 2 A4 pages.
Are you happy, and obviously we don't want to adjourn the hearing until we receive them, are you happy for us to continue with the case and then adjourn?
I sent them. Holly, have you got them?
Yes, we have them, and they're currently being printed.
I would suggest we let the applicant present his application, then let's see where we stand with your additional evidence, okay? Are you happy with that?
I think that it's relevant. It should have been incorporated. That type of information should have been incorporated in the documents that came to councillors in the first place. It's acknowledged that because of IT problems, that this perhaps was not available or people weren't aware.
May I just ask, I mean, Ms Johnson, when was the application actually submitted in the first instance? Because I'm aware, obviously, it's been on hold for quite a long time.
Yeah, the application was originally submitted in June this year.
Is there any reason why it hasn't, you haven't
The
submitted
problem was that Noise and Nuisance then withdrew their objection, and that's at the point at which this documentation became relevant.
Did you have it to hand before that, though? Did you have that information to hand before they withdrew their objection?
I believe it was on the 25th of November. We weren't notified until the 26th, which was yesterday.
And so then on Monday we had the problem, and so things didn't go according to schedule.
Okay, so is everybody happy for us just to, so we don't want to just sit and wait and for the documents to come in. Are you happy for us to hear the applicant's case, do questioning, and then we can always take an adjournment to wait for your additional paperwork to come in if it's not ready by the time you're ready to present?
As long as the information that is in those 2 A4 pages are taken into consideration, I'm happy, because I don't think we want another long licensing hearing.
Yeah, and obviously the committee have got to decide to omit it, but yes, I take on board what you're saying.
Councillor Wade, that of course depends on how succinct we are in our questioning and in those who answer us.
Okay, I think we will start with the applicant's case, and then we'll review where we are with the additional evidence from 2014. Okay. Now, Mr. Khan, please can you advise if there have been any amendments to your application?
Sorry?
If you could advise if there have been any amendments to your application. Can someone help him with that, please?
I didn't get you, madam, sorry.
Fiona, are you able to, have there been any amendments to his application?
No, Chair.
No. So I think the answer is no. Are you happy with that? Okay.
No, Chair, sorry.
Sure.
No.
No changes, Chair.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Khan, can you present your submission, please? You have up to 10 minutes to do so.
Dear Member Council Committee, Madam Linda Way, Councillor, Licensing Department, and the residents. We've been serving Earls Court over 50 years as a star kebab. And my name is Ismail Khan. Let's leave this one. So, my business is struggling now. We've been serving over 50 years. The reason I applied for the late line license, before I applied for this license, I invited Madam Wade to my premises, and Councillor Himesh to explain them why I'm applying for this license. There's a problem, inflation, many things in the country, and the business is struggling, and it's very hard for me to survive. 9 of my staff, they're working with me, and over 90% of my food is a cold food. I have showed that to Madam Wade as well. And plus, there's a problem, ongoing problem with the deliveries, riders, which they are giving problems to everyone, the residents. So I have been complaining about that to the council. Star Kebab is the only one business who is with residents. And I have complained that to the council 19th of March about those drivers. And I have complained that to the sergeant on 4th of September. And I reduced my hours on the deliveries just to help the residents. They wouldn't give further problems to the residents. Normally, my hours is 11:30 a.m. till 2 a.m. in the morning, but I reduced my hours from 11:30 till 11 in the evening, just to help the residents. One of my resident over there, he's sitting there. Even those drivers, when I complain about them, they got to know that they throw the food on my car, and I was fighting with them for residents, be with them, and always try to contact Madam Wade or Hamish if they need any help to help the residents. And the thing is, for me, I need this license. This license is very important for me to help my family and my staff family. The way businesses are going on now, it's really bad. And there are few businesses on Earlscourt Road which they don't have a license. They're keeping it open till late. I have given the name to Madam Wade when she visited at my place last time, including McDonald's. They did not have a license. They were keeping till 5 a.m. in the morning. I heard that they got the license last week. So what I'm trying to do for this license, we need this license to survive. This business is serving Earlscourt over 50 years. And we would like to serve another 50 years. But the thing is, the things are not good now, and the businesses are struggling. There are a lot of competition, and especially with this Uber, Deliveroo, and Just Eat. And I have given myself, I'm not doing any deliveries on those platforms, only to help the residents. The way they have messed on the street, and creating problems and disturbing the residents. I'm the only business who complain about them. And the thing is, for me, is to survive. Late night license is really important. And my food, as I mentioned that Madam Wade also visited, and Councillor Hamish, he came to my place. My food is over 90% is a cold food. If I brought them, my sales on Just Eat, Uber, and Deliveroo, what normally my plan was to do dark kitchens in my place. I have a huge kitchen. I was planning to do a few dark kitchens, but I'm not doing that because of the problems with the riders. My sale is here, which is monthly sale, for 3 platforms, Uber, Just Eat, and Deliveroo. Month of September, 1,107 pound. Month of October, 872 pound 55 pence, only for 1 month, all 1 month. Month of November, 469 pound 26 pence. The reason I'm not using this platform only for the residents. I think Star Kebab is the only business who is thinking about the residents on Earlscourt Road, and being with the resident, and trying to be with the resident all the time. Even those drivers, riders, they were rude with the local councillors. I have told them, whenever you need me, I'll come, and with the resident, I'm here always. So I have lost my online business nearly a year. I have bring all the paperwork for online business, what I have done, and the total amount. All the invoices are here with me. So I would request the committee, Madam Wade, and the residents and the council licensing department to grant this license to me.
Thank you very much. Now we'll have questions from the committee. Councillor Lindsay?
Mr. Khan, thank you for that. Can you just tell us a little bit more about because you've been in business as a family for the last 50 or so years, tell us a little bit more about the time at night that you've been open over the period, in particular since 2004, and then the review in 2012-13. Sorry, again?
I'm not aware there was a review.
Okay,
I think there was
review.
a further grant. It lapsed,
Okay.
and then there was further grant, not
The
review.
okay, my apologies for that. The grant and then the lapse and then the re-granting. Can you just tell us what sort of timescales you've had and how that has been received in the community?
From 2014, 2012, the license, as Madam mentioned, that we used to have till 5 o'clock in the morning. And that time the business was really good for the late night. Earls Court, young generation, and they used to go out, they still go out. They need a place where they can go and eat. And that time business was amazing. After we lost this license, the business is going down. The business, if I compare from 2004 till 2005, was something else. I can't even compare with that business. I have mentioned that to Madam Wade when she visited at my place. We're not even doing 25% of that business. If I compare pre-COVID, even till 2 o'clock, and now, I have mentioned this to Madam Wade as well and the Hamish, councillor, the business has been dropped to 70%. So 70% dropped. We're doing business now is 30%, 35%. And now the main platform is for all the businesses to do is the Uber, Deliveroo, and Just Eat. There are several businesses on Earls Court Road. Each business is having over 10 tablets minimum. 10 tablets. Uber, they doing dark kitchens. Each premises having upstairs, if they have, the dividing upstairs and downstairs, 2 different sections. On one section, they can have one restaurant name, one is dark kitchen. So let's say one business upstairs, they can open 2 companies, and 2 companies can have 4 to 8 tablets. With, let's say, 2 Uber Eat, 2 Just Eat, and 2 Deliveroos with different names. Star Kebab. Okay, I can say second name Indian food or any Indian fusion. I can get another tablet, which I'm not doing that. The reason I'm not doing it, that's disturbing the residents. If I'm saying that we've been serving Earls Court over 50 years, I'm working there 20 years. That means the residents are my family. I'm with residents. And if someone disturbs my family, that means they're disturbing me. I don't want to do this, something to disturb them. So the business business is struggling big time now. The reason I have applied this, I have mentioned that to Madam Wade as well. Before I applied, I requested her to come to my premises and said, I have explained her everything, why I'm applying for this. I have even one of my colleagues, he's been working over 45 years. I have introduced her with my chef as well. If I lose this business, my staff, he's 65 years old now. Where is he going to get the job at this time? Few of my staff, they are working 20 years, 35 years, 30 years, 40 years. How are they going to find a job in this age? Even myself, I have 2 kids. I want to work hard for my family. I am working, but I tried my best what I could do for myself and my family. But even this, I'm trying for this license now, for the application. This is the first time I'm speaking. I'd never experienced this before in my life. I don't know how I'm doing it, but whatever I'm doing for my family. So, as I mentioned that to you, the business was previously what we used to do, what we're doing it now, and the government and the council, everyone knows that how the situation in the country, how the businesses are doing. Inflation is so high, and I also kept my prices are very low in Earls Court Road. If you see my prices, I want the people, those who can't afford to go out and eat, they should come and eat at my place. I didn't get my menu, I can show you on my website. People can have a meal at my place for £8. Less than £8, under £10.
Let's stick to the point.
Yeah.
We take on board what you're saying, but let's stick to the point here, okay? About your application. Okay, Councillor Noor?
Thank you, Mr. Khan. You mentioned you have met the ward councillors before your application. Have you met some of the residents themselves?
Many residents are my customers. From Longreach Road, from Neverin Place, from Tipperary Road, from Philwich Garden, from everywhere. Many of them. And many of my customers, most of them, my customers, they're like my family. They've been coming to me, I'm there last 20 years. I know them last 20 years. Before me, my uncle used to know them. So they've been coming to us from many years. So I approached them, I talked to them, and they said it's good. And I even tried to contact few of the residents that I'm having a hearing. They even messaged me. They got to know from somewhere. They messaged me a lot of things about this meeting, before this meeting. So I'm just hoping my best, and
Thank you. My second question is, we know there's a lot of issues in Earls Court Road.
Yes, sir.
And where you are.
Yes, sir.
And residents has a right to complain about the noise, but sometimes it may not be clear where it's coming from.
Yes, sir.
So how will you engage or manage the noise when the customers come to your premises and they buy food from you? How will you ensure when they are leaving, they don't cause any disturbances, noise to your immediate residents?
We have a notice inside of my premises, and I also speak to them. If they go out, I politely request them, please, they are residents, it's late in night. It never happened. If that happened in the future. I think 2 days ago, my neighbor is there. A few days ago, there was a guy, his neighbor was screaming on the street. I went there and I asked him, do you need any help? If you need any help, let me know. We can sort this out. So we try ourselves. Even before he was having a problem, there was a homeless guy sitting in front of his house and troubling him. That time also I asked him, if you need any help, let me know. So I'm always there with residents, and I always, but the reason I'm saying this is because he's here. And there were many residents. I went and I tried myself to help them. And
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My other question is, I mean, if you manage to get the license today, from 2 to 5, what are your staffing level? How many people will be working for you?
After I closed the shop, last few months since I applied the application, minimum 3-4 days a week I stay on Ulscote Road until 4-5 o'clock in the morning and see. McDonald's did not have a permission. They were keeping it open till 5. There's another place, Cheat Meal, doesn't have a permission. They were keeping it open till 3. Now they're closing at 2. There was another business, Joe Grill, they recently started. They're keeping it open till 2 o'clock on the weekends. But when I'm seeing the people, the local residents, after late in night, they are coming. When I'm standing, if they are my regular customer from Ulscote, they're asking me, can you please serve us food? I'm telling them, sorry, I don't have a license, I can't serve you food. It's already 2 o'clock. So there are many residents, they approach me, they ask me for a food when I'm standing, walking on the street. I was just checking.
Can I interject here? That wasn't the question.
Yeah.
I think what we need to know is how many staff will be working if we give you the
I'm sorry.
license. Yeah.
I'm sorry, madam,
Thank-
I work in night. I didn't sleep all night and I came for the meeting.
Yes.
So how many staff work in night?
Yes,
4
during
to 5
the
staff.
week till 4 and on the weekends till 5. How many people will be in there
4 to
with?
5 in night. Minimum.
Councillor Lindsay has an additional question.
Very quickly, 4 to 5 staff working at night.
Yes, sir.
How many clients, customers, would you expect to come along between, say, 11 and 4 o'clock? Just to give us, so we can understand a little bit better, the likely numbers. Is it going to be 20 or 200 or 2,000? Now, it's clearly not going to be 2,000, but I'm just suggesting...
Well,
if you
it can't be 20. It's more than 20. It's I would say that minimum 70, 50 to 70.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
So you're saying 50 to 70 throughout the night, not all at one time?
From 11 o'clock till 4 in night, from Monday
So
to
you're
Thursday.
expecting to have 50 transactions?
50 transactions I'm expecting, especially after 2 o'clock, because the youngsters and the locals, after clubbing, they come late. And it doesn't matter whether I keep the shop open or not, they're gonna walk on the street. And they will look for the food somewhere. And there are many of them, I can see that they're walking. As I said, after I applied the license, I'm seeing them, and they were asking me, can you please do that? I can't say exact number. I'm hoping.
Of course you can't.
Could be more, could be less. You never know. But for me, what I can do, I can only try. What I could do for best for my family, for my staff family, and for residents.
Okay, thank you. Now, can you tell us, please, how do you, I saw on your drawing that you had a place for rubbish. I assume that's for people eating in, is that correct?
The eating in, yes.
Okay, so if someone goes outside and there's rubbish, they throw rubbish around, what do you do? What is your procedure?
Even now, I have mentioned that to Madam Wade and Hamish as well. Even now, we walk over the streets and see our rubbish, and we collect our rubbish. We come back and throw it in our bin. We walk Neverin Place, we walk Neverin Square, we walk Longreach Road, and we try to walk till Templeton Place in that lane. And other side of the street, we cover till there used to be a Metro Bank, opposite side of the Metro Bank, and we come back. We cover that much area.
Now, can I ask you, on your packaging, does your packaging say Star Kebab on it, or is it just plain foil?
It doesn't say Star Kebab, but we know our food. We do curries and kebabs, our wraps. Our packaging is completely different than anyone else.
Okay, thank you. And what is your relationship with the police?
Very good. Whenever they need me, I always try to help them. They come to my place all the time. If they're in trouble, they ask me. Not only police, even the CID, most of the police department, they come and eat at my place, especially CID, those who goes on unmarked cars, and very good with them.
Thank you.
You're welcome, madam.
Now, any questions from our legal officer, please?
Not really a question. I just want to clarify something just so that everybody's on the same page. You're only saying that you're not going to have deliveries from the premises from
That's right,
11...
madam.
Sorry, can you hear me?
That's right, madam.
You're going to have deliveries from the premises during the day, but from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., which is when late night refreshment kicks in, you're not going to have deliveries, but you're going to have it during the day. Can I just...
Madam, I'm even ready to give up delivery from morning 11:30 till 11 in night as well, because I'm not making any money on that. 3 tablets is making 500, 700, 1,000 pound a month. Normally business on Earlscourt Road, they make 2,000 a day, 3,000 a day, 4,000 a day. I'm ready to give up, I'm ready to turn off, deactivate all my tablets. I don't need that business.
So from 11 p.m., no deliveries?
No deliveries.
But up until 11 p.m., which when it isn't licensable, you will have deliveries?
From 11:30 until 11, we're doing deliveries now. If we get the
11:30 in the morning till 11 p.m. at night you do?
11 p.m. at night. And I'm even ready to give up that all. I don't want those tablets. Even I don't want to do from 11:30 till 11 in the 11 p.m. in the evening, in night.
Okay, so 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. you will have deliveries. It's not a licensable activity.
Okay.
But from 11 p.m.
Not
you
gonna
are
do it.
seeking late night refreshment, not for bike deliveries, but for people to come and eat in and for people to come in, buy food to take away. Is that correct?
Yes, madam.
That's all I wanted to check. Thank you.
Yes, madam. You can see on Uber app, our timing is till 11 o'clock in night. I deactivate my Deliveroo account because this license is more important for me than deliveries.
And just one final question, which will probably overlap later on. Do you have CCTV at the premises
Yes,
now?
madam.
Thank you.
Now we'll take questions only from the supporter and the objectors. Mr. Stevens, do you have any questions?
Just one question. Can you clarify, obviously the license currently stops at 2 a.m. for hot food. Do you continue opening and selling cold food until, say, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, or do you stop serving at 2 o'clock?
No, in the past, until now, I'm not doing it. But cold food, I don't need a license to do that.
Yes, I'm just inquiring.
I can do the cold food 24 by 7.
I realise that. I'm asking whether you actually do.
No,
do
I
that.
haven't done yet.
Okay, thanks.
Objectors, any questions before you go into your...
Yes, I have a number of questions, Madam Chair. Please could you expound on how you engage with residents in the immediate area, for example, Nevern Place and Child's Place? How do you have a meeting, or are you engaging with them one by one? How do you organize that?
The gentleman is next to you on your left. Whenever I see him, I say hello, hi, how are you? Do you need any help? Most of the time we discuss about those riders who disturb quite a lot.
Asking you about your engagement with residents, not the bikers. We'll deal with the bikers later. But what I'd like to find out is, what is your process? Do you say that you're going to have a meeting, or is your engagement when residents come in and to talk to you?
I would like to have a meeting with them, but most of the residents, when they come to me, to my place, and we discuss about problems, whatever happening, if there is some problem, there is some issue, they discuss with me in my place. If I'm seeing the residents on the street, I say hello, hi, and we try to discuss the problem. If there is a problem, they discuss with me. If not, they don't discuss with me.
What type of problems do they come to talk to you about?
The major problems residents were saying that to me about the riders, delivery riders, those who are troubling them.
What steps do you take to remedy the problem with the residents, not the bikers, the residents?
I have told the residents we should raise the complaint to the council, to the police department, to the immigration department, which I have done it myself. I have the reference number here. I have the email to the sergeant. I have emailed the sergeant. I have CC'd that email to you, madam, as well, that when I raised this on 19th March, when I raised the complaint about the riders, which I CC'd that to you and Hamish as well.
Made a complaint about?
About that they're troubling the residents, they're spitting everywhere on the street.
That's the bike guys, not
yeah.
residents. Can we just concentrate on the residents just for a minute? Now, I have complained about the smell coming from the kitchens when there's this acrid smell that comes out into the, onto the pavement on Earls Court Road and also can be smelt at the back. Can you possibly tell me, because I know I've complained and I know other residents have complained about it, can you tell me what you've done to actually address that problem?
Okay. What we used to do, madam, until 2022, we used to sell hot food. And that, from my side, no, I'm not talking about other restaurants, mostly all restaurants, they smell on Earls Court Road. If there is a restaurant, you smell that. But we used to do hot food until 2022, over 50 years. When I get these complaints from the residents, I started selling cold food. My food is in the in the fridge. Before, it used to be hot Banbury. When the food...
Mr. Khan, I'm addressing a specific thing which happens about 11 o'clock each morning when, I'm not quite sure what you're doing, but they actually have black smoke comes out into Earls Court Road, and there is this very strong smell. And we've talked about this before, so can you tell me what steps you have taken to address that problem? Because it affects everybody.
11 o'clock in the morning, madam. The smoke comes out 11 o'clock in the morning?
It's the smell, and there's smoke that comes out of the... You've got a set of extraction, haven't you, in your stall riser. You've got the front window, you've got the stall riser, and you have some extraction panels. And when you... Are you cleaning? What are you...
We do clean the extractor fan every 3 months to 6 months.
So what steps have you taken to prevent the black smoke and the smell? Do you change your filters?
We do clean the filters twice a week.
All right. I would suggest there was more. A couple of other questions. I would like to know who your target market is between your present closing hours and 5 o'clock. Who do you think is going to come?
Residents, police department, and I have few customers, those who work in council, and they come late in night to eat at my place with the council car and the council dress. And that's all. And underground, definitely. Those people who works in underground late in night, they comes and eat at my place.
One problem that came up, especially for people who lived in number 2, Nevin Place, where it overhangs, is actually above your restaurants. They're complaining about the noise that when you're doing finishing service at about 3 o'clock in the morning, which can be heard throughout the building. What steps have you taken to try and reduce the impact of that noise on residents of number 2, Nevin Place?
In night, normally we have only few pots to clean it. What I'll do, I won't clean it. I'll try to clean them early. Normally we close at 2 o'clock, not at 3 o'clock. We leave the shop by 2:15, 2:20. We don't stay until 3 o'clock in night. Our shop closes at 2, and we leave the premises by 2:15 and 2:20.
Can you tell me whether your customers have access to the lavatory?
Access to the?
Do your customers, the people who come and eat, or come to get a takeaway, do they have access to the lavatory,
No.
the toilet?
Toilet, most of my customers, they don't ask for it. But we do have a toilet. If someone need it, we let them go.
All right, so the final thing, which I know that you're very keen on, is what are the problems that you're experiencing with the bikes?
On the bikes. What I have experiencing, I have shown you, I've walked with you, I have showed you everything that
I
they're
know,
spitting.
but I think it'd be nice for you to explain to the committee. It's not me. You're talking to the committee about the problem that whether yes, do you have a problem with bikes?
Yes, we did
All right.
have a problem. Not only
So-
me, we all have a problem with the bike drivers. They in night, they're drinking, they're throwing the bottles on the street, they're eating the food, they're leaving the food on the street, they're not buying the food. They have a trick. They go, collect the food, they cancel the delivery. But if some customers, they cancel the delivery, they get that food. They bring that food, they sit on not only on Nevin Place, they also sit on the Long Reach Road when you go past on the right side when you're coming to the Cromwell Road. On that lane, I have few customers, they also complaining about them. I experience myself that they're spitting, they're throwing the bottles in my premises, where is fire exit.
Mr. Khan, did you mean Redfield Lane?
Sorry?
Redfield Lane, which is opposite.
Yes, madam.
opposite you,
Yes, madam. So they are my customers. They came and they discussed this matter with me. I told them that we should come together, we should complain about this, we should complain to the council, we should complain to the police department. I had a word with them myself alone many times. I told them that don't do this. What you're doing is not right. But they didn't do anything to me, but they started targeting my car. They're throwing the food and everything because they got to know that even the day I complained on 19th of March, the council came, one of the officer came, and she was asking in my premises, where is Mr. Khan? He complained about this. And they got to know that I complained about them. After that, they tried to targeting my property. And that's what I'm experiencing from them.
So only 2 more questions. Have you witnessed fights and have you been involved in any fights with bikers? Would you say argument or fights?
No, I went, they did not argue with me. I went and told them off that what you're doing is not right. There are few customers, local customers, they approached me. I went with them as well. I can give you the name. One of them live in front of Masala Zone in that alleyway.
Redfield Lane.
Yes, his name is Munir. And yeah, I went with him, I approached to them, I told him whenever you need, just give me a shot. I'll bring my old staff with me. Normally, even you mentioned that to me, they're attacking in a group. So when you need manpower, give me a shot. I'll come with my old staff myself. I told him, and I even mentioned this to you, I even mentioned this to Hamish, And there's another of my customer, there are a few more customers who lives on Longreach Road, the first building on the Longreach Road, in opposite the Sainsbury's.
The one next door to Sainsbury's Local?
Yes, the corner one. Even me and that guy, we went together and we approached to them, we told them that what you're doing is not nice. They're drinking in night. Even I told my neighbor who is sitting by you, whenever you need me, come and give me a shot. I'll stand by you. I'll stand next to you. We here, as a family, just give me a shot. And I've been there, I spoke to them. They didn't argue with me. They just been quiet, and they just walked away. I told them whatever I had to tell them.
Do the staff live locally?
Sorry, madam?
Where do your staff live? Do they live in Earls Court? Are they local?
No, they, few of them were, two of them local, and the rest away from Earls Court.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, not a question, no.
It has to be a question before we go into the objectors. So do you have a question or not?
Not yet, no.
Okay. You'll get your 10 minutes of fame in a minute, okay? Our legal advisor.
Just one more question. Obviously, this is a grant of a new application, so therefore, theoretically, our midnight policy does apply, but you have got an existing licence till 2 a.m., which needs to be factored into the equation. Why do you think the councillors should grant a licence for you beyond midnight or 2 a.m.? Why do you think you should be granted the licence? Why do you think the midnight policy should be gone beyond?
As I mentioned it to you about how the business is suffering, it's not only one family depend on that business. There are many families depend on the business. And that business is there over 50 years. That business is serving Earls Court over 50 years. Plus the residents, a lot of residents, they ask me that you used to keep it open till late. We're missing that. And of course, it's for myself, my family, and my staff. I would like to request you, please give me this license.
Thank you very much. Now, governance, can you tell us what's happening with the additional information?
Thank you. I've been advised it's been printed. I'll go see if one of my colleagues has it, and I'll bring it straight here. If you'd like to adjourn now, what I'll do is I'll be able to provide everybody with hard copies in the next couple of minutes. Exactly.
We'll adjourn now. We will go to our room, and when the evidence comes, we will look at it, okay? Thank you.
Sorry, just to interject, can governance, when you receive the papers, can you hand it to everybody and then the councillors, and then if Mr Khan's got any comments, obviously you're submitting the evidence, if anybody's got any comments, then the councillors can take it into account when they make their final decision. Thank you.
sir.
Please may everyone be upstanding for the return of the committee. Thank you.
Has everyone had a chance to review the documents? Okay. Mr. Khan, do you have any questions that you want to ask about that? I mean, comments? Do you accept the evidence?
These
Yeah.
ones, madam? I have mentioned this about Child Street, a child place, Nevern Place, Spades Mews, a few
Yep.
minutes ago.
No, we just want to ask if you accept that we're going to allow it in. You don't have to question it yet.
Do you have any comments on the committee, on this, so the committee needs to decide whether to admit it as evidence? Do you have any comments to make?
No.
Committee, do you accept?
Accept.
Okay. Yeah, so we can carry on now. Okay. We will now start with the supporter and the objector's case. Mr. Stevens, will you commence, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I think one of the chief concerns, and I'll be fairly consistent with my approach to the McDonald's one last week, which I was unfortunately not able to attend. I think the overwhelming need is to ensure that we use the licensing process to put the appropriate conditions on premises to get the right balance for residents as well as the business. It's all very well to reject these applications, but I think then the committee loses some level of control over what it can impart or impose on that business moving forward. So I'm, as a pragmatist, I'm of the opinion that I think we should use the process to get the right balance. And on that basis, that is why I advocated for a restriction on the use of collections and deliveries, which I'm pleased to see that Mr. Khan has agreed to in the conditions that have been laid out here. There are clearly some concerns around litter and the use of some doorsteps for eating the food in the surrounding area, which I think need to be looked at and addressed. The condition here around litter being a 20-metre radius, I think is probably a little short, and it was pleasing to hear that at least the intention is to do Nevern Place, Templeton, Longridge, and opposite the restaurant on Earls Court Road, which is broader than the 20-metre sphere that has been presented here. So I think we should alter that condition to reflect the intent of Mr. Khan and the business. I do think we need to consider the concerns of the residents, though, in terms of people loitering on doorsteps. And some of that obviously is the bike riders, but some of it may be patrons from the restaurant just taking food out and finding somewhere to squat where maybe the restaurant is full, because it's obviously quite a small premises, and seeking some ways in which we can manage that proactively and not incur the issues that I think you're going to hear a little bit more about in the next few minutes, because I think that is really the chief concern that is left from my part. But overall, given the conditions that have been applied, I think it's a reasonable balance, aside from perhaps the impact people have sitting on the doorsteps. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Wade, your presentation, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm here this morning in my capacity as Chair of Nevern Square Conservation Area Residents Association and as a ward councillor. I would mention, given the time of the hearing, many of the most affected residents, i.e. the ones in Niven Place, cannot attend the meeting due to work. I acknowledge that most businesses were impacted by COVID and many have sustained a downturn in business. But the general theme throughout the recent planning and licensing applications for late-night fast food extensions, there does need to be a rebalance between the needs of the residents and businesses to reassure businesses that the council is on their side. Businesses do have a social responsibility, and there are some in the conditions which were already granted in the previous license to the area that they operate in, such as maintaining a clean and presentable frontage, which is in their condition at the moment, maintaining a clean food and oil waste disposal area in the basement, and that residents have a right to a quiet enjoyment of their homes. Earlier this week, about 3 of us went around talking to residents in 1 to 19 and 2 to 20 Niven Place, and they're concerned about the extension of the license and how it will impact their lives. In summation, and it was constant, noise nuisance, discarded takeaway food debris on their front doorsteps, smell from the kitchen, vermin, and residents having to climb over those on the steps to get in and out of their homes. The noise nuisance from the cleaning of the kitchens at the end of service, specifically at around 3 o'clock, impacts specifically Niven Place, as some of the homes are physically over the store. 3 buildings set back from Star Kebab on either side complain of an acrid smell getting into their homes and gardens. The most common complaint was food waste from takeaways discarded on their front doorsteps, and sometimes other waste as well, and therefore there's a problem with mice in the area. The applicant said he will not have bike delivery service, but there are advertisements in the window with listing Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and Just Eats. There are bikes parked outside through day and night, and if granted, the license changing needs, if they're changing needs to the business, that the applicant should resubmit for the additional hours for takeaway. The problem is of enforcement. The applicant stated that the bikes in Niven Place were due to other locations. Some of them have now closed down or in the process of closing. And so therefore, bikes come in anticipation of work, and they come to as close to the venue as they can. So Taco Bell is gone, Jojo Perry is about to fold, but neither of them are as close or impact on as many residents to the extent that Star Kebab does. In the past, Star Kebab did have a 5 a.m. license, and due to, I think it's the, do we say expiring, Fiona, of the license holder, it was possible to request a reduction of hours to 2 a.m. for this residential street. Some residents said it was at last it was possible to sleep after many years of congregation and noise in the street close to Star Kebab. Some of the comments from residents who can't be here says, I can smell the restaurant. It interferes with my enjoyment of my garden and my flat in better weather. I've also submitted written objection to the planning and licensing department with other issues, i.e. My personal safety, environmental issues, noise nuisance. Another resident wrote saying, I can understand the implications it would have, especially noise and mice. Unfortunately, we've managed to get the information from Mr. Mahaffey before, which shows that it's kind of a combination of complaint fatigue, or they've been complaining to their housing officer. And I referred to the comment where Mr. Mahaffey did not receive many complaints over the year. He was well aware of the level of concerns that residents had. To be noted, the condition of the cleaning of the frontage and flank wall and basement is not fully undertaken, nor have they complied with the condition that some cleaning of steps for a couple of houses. This was a condition imposed on them some years ago, and which was actually approximately 50 metres from the frontage of the store, but does not extend to the area covered by the waste generated by Kebab House. At that time, there were 19 letters of objection to the application, plus 7 signatures on a petition. There are 9 letters supporting the application, out of which 2 letters came from the same resident. And only 4 of the residents who made comment actually lived in the immediate area. There's still no adequate provision for individuals to use lavatories, and so I would request that signage should be clearly displayed. Another resident wrote, I'm finding the paves more and more unpleasant, rotting food, and that it's not been picked up. I'll leave a precise description to Robert, but I would ask that the committee turn the application down on the grounds of increased crime and disorder, public nuisance, litter, antisocial behaviour, impact on local residents' quality of life, nuisance caused by delivery drivers. And so I think the applicant, does not have a history of consistent and meaningful engagement with residents. And it was very clear that some residents had gone into store and they found making the complaints intimidating. They didn't feel that they feel they were being dismissed, and so felt very uncomfortable about direct engagement. So that's an important issue. And another late night premises in the area will add to the already increasing premises that are open till late. Together with the recent grant of McDonald's, and there were a lot of objections. The citizens' concerns are completely ignored. Another late-night restaurant specifically, the rest of the street is residential, and opposite in Childs Street and Charles Place are residential, and they are being impacted. Just makes Earls Court steadily and more dangerously becoming a mini Las Vegas, and that's not what residents want. There's also concern that the applicant will not comply with the conditions attached. Thank you.
Mr. Thurgle? Please speak into your mic.
Okay. Now, in my humble opinion, a 2 AM license is reasonable for a residential area, which is what Earlscourt is, and it's not the West End or the Soho. A late night 4 or 5 AM opening times will bring a pit stop mentality along with it. People in those hours are usually inebriated. Earlscourt has become a destination for many of those late night revelers or night owls. And it's awash with antisocial behavior, and this would only invite more and exacerbate it. With the Deliveroo bay that can hold up to 18 bikes, it would be a double whammy. I live right outside the Deliveroo bay, and in spring and summer I have my window open. I live on the ground floor. They are a scourge. They really are. And I've seen trouble with you and them, and you showed me your car that was spat on. They threw food at his car all over because he told them to, I don't know, keep the noise down or behave, like I did many times. I would go out there, try to reason with them at the midnight hour, point to my window and say, look, this is where I live. My window is open, can you calm it down? And I would just ignore it, and it would go on. And they would all holler over each other at the same time. And what my concern is, that if a late night opening license would be granted to 5 a.m., it would then just move and not stop. And in the past, when the previous management had a license that would open until 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., I would often have to navigate past people that sat on my doorstep, eat their stuff, and sometimes I asked them kindly, to remove it when they're finished, and that often got ignored. Sometimes I got a mouthful back, as in verbals, and then in the morning I had to climb over half-eaten scoff, boxes of whatever, and that's not a nice way to start a morning, when you have to step over leftovers. And Earls Court is awash with that. I don't know why Earls Court has been singled out for this bonanza of late-night licenses, because it is a residential area, and it's not Soho or the West End, where such opening hours are the norm. And as a resident, I've suffered considerably over the years. When this application of a late-night license was again applied for, I believe it was 2014, was it 2015? It was denied. And that made a huge difference in regards to having a little bit more peace and quiet. However, having said that, the Deliveroo Bay has put an end to that because they are real noisemakers. It can,
Keep it related
it can host 18 bikes in one bay. And it caused him a lot of problems as well, Mr. Khan and myself. And I think if he, I know that the business is hard and he needs to make a living, and I understand all that, and I feel for you in regards to that. But it would just be a never-ending stream. When the Deliveroo bikers leave at 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, it would then, transfer to another venue, and I never get any peace. I mean, now my windows are closed because it's winter time, but in spring and summer, with my windows open this wide, me being on the ground floor, living out front, deprived of sleep, being woken up continuously, you wake up with the hump in the morning because you're not getting a wink. And
the taxis as well that come,
taxis?
the cars that come and park. And
Oh, and of course there's another issue. I'm not saying it's all related to Star Kebabs, that there is Jollibee as well, but that's more during the daytime. Cars would pull up, people would inside their cars, they would eat, and once they finish, they just open the window and chuck it onto the pavement. And I've confronted a few people on that issue. They either put the foot down and drive off or give me lip service, sometimes in a confrontational manner. I got a bit of a temper myself, so it's not a good mix, So I've given up on it. But it's ongoing. It's ongoing, and it's sometimes I feel Earls Court has become one gigantic pit stop for people to stop and just refuel, as in, eat their scoff quickly in a hurry and then just discard it. And that's a real concern. And I'm only speaking as a resident whose night and sleep has been disturbed over many, many years. And therefore, I would prefer the license to end at 2 instead of 5 in the morning. But I'm only speaking as somebody who lives on the ground floor. If I'd lived out in the back, I probably it wouldn't be an issue for mine, but I live ground floor out front, so it has become an issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, any questions from the committee? Councillor Lindsay?
Councillor Wade, if you look at the total number of people who wrote in, I think Appendix K and Appendix K, there are just over 100, of whom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, by my quick counting, less than 10 were in Nevern Place, which is significantly the closest place to the premises. And there was one in Earls Court Road itself, I think. So why so few from those most closely affected?
All right, so I'm just trying to go through. You've got what's significant are the people that I've seen that have objected.
That may be because somebody has encouraged people from further afield to object rather than those most closely affected.
I can definitely tell you that Anna Collett, who couldn't be here, lives directly opposite, and she couldn't be here because she was I think she's got a hospital appointment. Miss Grant actually was one of the people I spoke to.
Sorry, can we just go back? The point I'm making in the first instance is that there were a lot of objections, fair comment, 107, but fewer than 10 were either from Nevern Place or Earls Court Road, which are the two streets, the two roads most directly affected.
All right, Nevern Place feeds into Nevern Square.
Yeah, but Nevern Square from here is actually two streets two streets away. I'm not particularly interested in Nevern Square. I'm interested in Nevern Place and Earls Court Road.
I think that it's partly because when people buy fast food, they either eat on the premises, or they go and sit outside, or they walk down the street and then dump the waste when they've actually finished what I call the end of munch zone. But I spoke to Lee Farrell on, I think it was Wednesday, yesterday, and she has considerable problems. I mean, there's the impact, as I said, on Nevern Place is divided by Templeton Place, and then you get, so it's the areas closer to Earls Court Road, and basically people have actually either got complaint fatigue, but the people that have objected have been articulate in their concerns, and they reiterated it was, detailed. So I can't comment as to why other people have objected, but I can see that several.
Okay. But can we? Okay, Councillor Wade, thank you for that. I don't need anything more on that, but I understand what you're saying. You are a ward councillor. Yes. Your colleagues to your right and your left, I take it, live locally. Brian Stevens is neither he's not fully a supporter and he's not fully an objector. He's, I think, in both camps. I think that's conditional.
I would say
what I'm saying is that
Mr. Stevens lives slightly out of the area that actually got directly impacted, but he's commented the same.
But why, given on previous occasions you alluded to fatigue in terms of complaints? I've been on this committee for many years, so have you. There have been many occasions when many, many more objectors have been present than there are now.
Yes, but it is a Thursday. It's 10 o'clock or started at 10 o'clock, and some of the people actually work.
But that applies. Councillor Wade, can you just let me say that actually that observation applies equally to the many other licensing meetings that we've had over the last number of years. So in that regard, it's actually neutral because it applies today, yes, but it also applies to all the other meetings that we've had. And there have been, in the past, many more objectors than there are currently. And I just wondered whether you, as a ward councillor, and we absolutely acknowledge that your heart is in this, if you could explain why there are relatively so few objectors now.
Can I just step in here quickly?
I think that there are a number of objections
Sorry,
here.
Councillor Wade, can I just step in here?
I don't think that's valid.
Can I just step in here quickly and just say that obviously we do need to take into account the written representation. Just because they're not here doesn't mean they don't carry weight. They still need to be taken into account.
I think the fact that people are still objecting is almost a miracle.
I'm going to pick this up here because, Councillor Wade, you're very diligent, and you've come to us with over 100 objectors. Many of them don't live even in your ward. We've had quite a few who have submitted a form boilerplate objection from Lexham Gardens, which is Abingdon Ward. I can't imagine that those are being affected. We have people from, excuse me, we have people from SW10, we have people from the Bolton Gardens. I mean, you obviously spent a lot of time getting these objections. However,
Sorry, Chair. I inform residents of the Nevern Square Residents Association area of an application, all right? The Nevern Square area goes from West Cromwell Road down to the station. I did not go out and talk to people in Barkston Gardens, Bramham Gardens, Collingham Gardens, Lexham Gardens, or anywhere else. If they choose to make a submission, that is their right, but I did not inform them.
absolutely. Now, I was just commenting on your diligence. Now, we also have looked at the evidence you've submitted from 2013 and 2014. Again, no complaints. Here we have no, excuse me.
Sorry, there were 19 objections and there were 17.
No, Keith Mahaffey said, you wanted us to read what Keith Mahaffey said. He said he's had no official complaints. Anyway, we're discussing 2025. Again, no complaints, no environmental health, no police. How do you substantiate your objections?
It's based on quality of life for residents who endured what it was like when it was 5 a.m. And they are concerned because they just feel it's a business that is operating, which is generating problems, which they're having to live with. I can't say what individual people find concern, but I've mentioned that we did actually try to reach out. 1 to 15 is L&Q, Housing Association. Many people are in studio flats and therefore don't have the option to move to another room. Everybody that we talked to, from 2 to about 18, all of them had concerns. And I asked them whether they had a comment. I didn't ask them whether they were going to object, whether they were going to support. I just said, you know, what do you feel about it?
Yes, but we're not talking about feelings here. We're talking about actual complaints, of which we have none. If people are so passionate, why aren't they complaining? And also, just to expand, we do have 2 supporters from number 2 Nevern Place. So it's not everyone. Why aren't people complaining? We've made it very easy. All they have to do is send in a complaint, and yet no one bothers to do it. Why? That is our process, and you know it's our process.
Unfortunately, some residents aren't as articulate as you, Madam Chair, and they have been complaining for so many years, and they just kind of feel that actually nothing happens. So what's the point of complaining?
And some have vulnerabilities.
Yeah, there's some
Well, we have a procedure. We have a process. I mean, that's the only thing we can go by. Just saying, oh, I would have, or, I'm afraid to, or whatever. Just, you can show them as the counselor how to complain. But we need evidence here. Okay, Councillor Noor.
Thank you, Chair. I think we listen to your objections and we take seriously the 112 residents who objected this application. Residents deserve good night's sleep. At the same time, the business needs to survive. So I think we need to find a way where the business can survive, because we need businesses in this borough. But at the same time, residents are not affected, especially late night hours. So my question to you is in those meetings you have through the ward councillor, resident association, have you ever tried to, if they cannot articulate complaint themselves, to organize a meeting where they can complain to the council collectively? Has that been done in the past?
I understand that the residents of 1 to 15, 2 to 4 have complained to their housing officer. Unfortunately, there's been a churn in housing officers. And so information, even though you inform housing officers that if people are making a complaint of the procedure, due to the churn in housing officers, that's been difficult to maintain. You also have a churn of some of the tenants. And because these are studio flats, we're getting quite a high proportion of people with vulnerabilities who are having difficulty enough with their own lives, let alone actually how to negotiate registering a complaint online. I think the complaints have been quite consistent. I think the problems have been quite consistent. And I agree that we need to achieve a balance. At the moment, this is out of kilter. If the issues, for example, of the smell from the kitchen or the extraction or the waste on the pavements. Personally, I've never seen the pickup from the pavement, the steps, but apparently that's been done, but it was routinely mentioned. And I think that we're in a privileged position here insofar as we understand the process. But many people do find it difficult, and it would be the first port of call for most of those residents would be to go back to their housing officer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's just been pointed out that there are 92 objections from SW5, and I think that some of them will have come from my area, but you've got to remember it's one of the smallest ward in the borough, and therefore people do walk through and they do dump.
Councillor Wade, you said Earls Court's the smallest ward in the borough?
The smallest ward in the borough.
By what criteria? Because there are a number. You've got three ward councillors, and there are several that have got only 2. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
All right. I would say that we are a small ward, and we do have 3 ward councillors, but I think we have one of the highest densities of people living in the ward, and I think we've got they say about 10,000 people living there, but we've got 6,500 people on the electoral register. So it is a very densely populated ward.
The applicant has volunteered in the condition that he offered to carry out pickups about 20 meters.
That was in their original conditions.
Now, I mean, if we are not in the condition yet, if we have to negotiate with the applicants to increase that, will that help with some of the issues?
I think he already has suggested that he increases that, and he does Nevern Place, Earls Court Road, Longridge, and on occasion Templeton, which is far more than 20 metres. I certainly think it needs to be put in the documentation that that's the requirement, so that moving forward that it's clear.
I think everyone, to be productive, let's all contribute during the conditions session, and hopefully we can address all of that. I'd like to now ask if our legal officer has any questions.
Just one question. Looking at the map, Joe's Grill, which I think is opposite or nearly opposite the premises, and Joe's Grill at number, what number is it?
It's a couple of shop fronts down.
And that's open till 2 a.m. as well. Are there any issues from Joe's Grill?
I don't know of any.
Residents in Charles Place complained also because if you look at the location, you go into you can go into Charles Place. They don't have as many problems as the people in Nevern Place, but it would be quite nice to at least go into Charles Place. And the original condition, I believe, was 50 metres, not 20.
For clarity, do you mean Charles Street?
Okay. Any other questions from our legal officer?
No more questions from me, thank you.
Mr. Khan, do you have any questions of the objectors?
There are 7 restaurants from Longridge Road till Nevern Place, not only one Star Kebab. And
Could you speak into the mic, please?
I'm sorry, madam. There are 7 restaurants from Longridge Road till Nevern Place, not only Star Kebab. And the rubbish during the day, Star Kebab business from 11:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock in night is 350 to 500 ton max. Most of my customers, they eat inside my premises. They don't eat outside, or they throw the rubbish outside. And before 2014, there used to be a nightclub. There is Kung Fu restaurant now. They're doing karaoke 2 o'clock in night. That nightclub used to make problems, not Star Kebab, because the people, they used to get drunk and they used to come out. They used to 3 nightclubs on Earls Court Road. One is 180, I believe, the door number. There was one nightclub. There was second nightclub, which was on My Place Hotel in the basement.
Sorry, Mr. Khan, we have to be fair. Do you have any questions
Questions?
of the objector or supporter?
One question is very important for me. The smell, which is the residents are complaining in night. There are few questions, sorry, not one. My cooking finishes by 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We don't cook after that. As I mentioned that to you, we keep our food in the fridge. We just microwave the food and we serve the customer, if needed. Most of my customer, they take cold food from me. Second thing, our smell doesn't go to the gardens, because the thing is, my business is on the corner of the Nevern Place. Next to my shop is a Dolce, which is coffee shop. They have flats upstairs. Next to their shop is number 174, which is Joe Grill. That might go the smell to the gardens. My smell doesn't reach to the other side of the private gardens. And my problem, and Madam Wade mentioned that from number 2, there's an ongoing problem, number 2 Nevern Place, at my premises. I have complained to the council that there is a leak from upstairs in my place. I have mentioned this to Madam Wade when she was in my premises as well.
So I think if you want to make that into a question, basically you want to ask, I don't know whom, maybe Councillor Wade or Mr. Turrigal, you want to ask at what time are they getting problems with your odors because you aren't cooking after noon? Would that be adequate?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
what
that's
time
the
you getting
question.
the problems?
I think that you have the problem of before 174, and that's actually been referred. I referred that to licensing to establish their status, but also the health and safety people in the environmental health. But that's a relatively new business, Mr. Khan, and actually what people are complaining about is something which has happened over a longer period. So that's one thing. You refer to the club as being a mitigating factor, but in fact now we have a karaoke bar with people coming out at quite late at night. So, and we know that there have been incidents which required the police in the last 2 weeks associated with congregation in Nevin Place from the karaoke bar. So I think I realise what you're saying about it was Miss Q. All right, not my place is in Trebovia Road. But Miss Q was a problem and it was called in on review. So everybody acknowledges that problem. But the same location is being used by a karaoke bar where people are not coming out into Earls Court Road and they're coming out through the fire exits onto Nevin Place.
That's right.
And therefore they congregate.
I'm sorry, why are you bringing in other premises? What is your point?
No, the reason for it is Mr. Khan referred to the previous problems were related to the presence of a club called Miss Q. And that everybody acknowledged that was a contributory factor to problems. But now we do have another club there, a club karaoke place, and that, so you still got the same dynamic of congregation, which is and dispersal.
Madam, my place, we don't have any music, we don't do any deliveries, and we sell cold food mostly. And I don't think we have any problem. Residents are having problem from my place. Star Kebab is not the only one place on Earls Court Road. As for the rubbish, I walk every day. Every day, my neighbor witness of that. I walk myself every day and check the rubbish, mostly rubbish. I don't want to use any name of the restaurant, other restaurants' rubbish. If I see my rubbish, I carry one bag in my hand, bin bag. I take another bag in my hand. I take all rubbish and then bring it back to my premises. It's not that for this 5 o'clock license, I've been doing this last many years.
Just for the record, we should say that it's the Kung Fu Chinese restaurant and not my place, because my place is in a different street and a different location.
I think he was saying it's not my place, meaning his place. Okay, I think it's time to move on.
Madam, can I say one more thing here,
Yes.
please?
Is it a question?
No, can I say it? Because they mentioned about the waste.
1 second. I think, why don't you bring that up when we discuss conditions? Because I'm sure litter and waste will be in that.
No, not the littering waste, actual waste. Since Madam Wade was complaining about us from last year, we do not keep our waste outside our premises. We keep our waste and oil inside our premises. Even I have showed that to her, that we keep our waste inside our premises. And the waste department has given us the timing, what time we need to keep the waste outside the premises. We do it according to the timing. We take the waste out late in night and we keep it outside.
Okay. He is saying that, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Khan is saying that he has corrected the situation from 2 years ago, last year, what was it? Okay.
I would say that because there's a basement area, all right? You go down the basement and there's food storage and cans and everything else actually physically in the basement. Where he is disposing of the waste is at the top of that, for the collection by the council, is at the top of the steps. But it's actually it's how he stores stuff, whatever. It's not clear whether it's waste, whether it's storage, but it shouldn't be outside in a basement area because it's effectively foodstuffs.
Our waste is in blue bin bags, which is commercial waste from the council. Normally, people are dumping their waste in my premises, which I complained to Madam Wade as well. And the bottles and the cans and everything. We clean every day others' waste. It's not us.
I think we'll move on now. So I'd like our legal officer, please, to deal with the draft conditions and any other queries she may have. I really would like everyone to participate here, because let's try to mitigate some of the issues. And just let us know when you want to speak.
Say something very briefly.
Is it a statement or a question? Because we're moving into conditions now.
It is a statement and a question at the same time.
To whom?
To Mr. Khan, in regards to the rubbish.
Yeah, but excuse me, we've already,
Right,
you're
okay.
the ones who are speaking.
It ended so quickly.
I think what we'll do is discuss the rubbish when we get to the conditions
All right,
about
okay.
rubbish. I think it's more relevant there. Let's stick a bit to procedure. Okay, you'll have your minute.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So everybody's been circulated a copy of the draft conditions. Obviously, there is an existing premises licence which we need to factor in until 2 a.m. This is an application for a grant of a new premises licence. And as I mentioned earlier on, late night refreshment, which is the licensable activity which is being sought, is only applicable from 11 p.m. onwards. So Mr. Khan has put certain statements in his operating schedule, and I've kind of transposed them into potential conditions in red. And obviously there's the conditions which have been agreed with environmental health, which I've tweaked as well. And also I've added some potential other conditions which I think address the other complaints. So let's start at, I think number one's just a statement, so it's not relevant. So number two is about, you've said in your application, you've said the pavement area immediately outside will be kept clear of litter and washed down at the close of business each day. And then there's talk about after the premises closes to the public, the area outside and up to 20 metres away shall be cleared of litter and other refuse connected with the operation of the business. Now, instead of those conditions, I've put 3 alternative conditions in red. Can I initially have your comments? Are you okay with the wording in red? I know we want to discuss the 20-metre issue and other bits in a minute. Can I just have your comments on those 3 conditions that I've put in red? Are you okay with them? Right, can I have the objectors' comments? You're okay with them, thank you. Can I have any comments from the other side, please? I know you...
I read that.
I would say that there needs to be a daily litter log shall be kept at the premises and delete for a period of at least 3 months. I think that one of the concerns is about compliance with any of the conditions, and therefore I would prefer to have more information if we're requiring to have evidence.
So, what? Sorry, my second condition is saying...
It says a daily litter log
Yeah,
shall be kept at the premises.
yeah.
Yeah, it's in condition 2.
I know, but to delete for a period of at least 3 months.
Or
from
why
the
why
date
should
of
it be
the
longer
last
than that? Is that not enough? I mean... Sorry, were you saying that 3 months isn't enough?
No.
What are you suggesting then?
I think they should keep a litter log like anybody. Most businesses, if they're cleaning lavatories, they have a schedule and people tick it. You know, there are ways of doing it. But the issue is that this applicant and this premises have had a series of conditions put on their licence in the past which have not been complied with. If the licensing committee requires evidence, this would be one way of achieving it.
Can I just bring in Ms Johnson at this point? Obviously, they deal with licensing enforcement. In terms of, I know with incident logs, we ask for 12 months, etc., and customer complaints, but in terms of litter logs, would you say 3 months is an acceptable amount of time to hold on to?
For most of our premises licence, it does relate to 3 months. It's up to the applicant if he thinks he can keep it longer. We have to actually, think about the amount of paperwork that is involved, but most of our premises do have 3 months.
Thank you. And can I just check one more thing? Councillor Wade has referred to there have been issues with enforcement in the past. Has there ever been a review of the premises which would deal with such issues?
There haven't been a premises licence review of the premises. Due to technical issues, I'm unable to actually go into our system to see whether there have been any contraventions of the premises licence. I can only go by my own recollection at the moment, and I'm not aware of any.
Could I make a suggestion? If Mr. Khan would agree, you understand what a log means, that you'll have to keep a record, you keep a diary and notebook every day what you've done with the litter. You understand that?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. If it makes Councillor Wade happy, would you be happy to hold on to it for 6 months?
Madam, the law should be equal for everyone.
Sorry?
The law should be equal for everyone.
Right, so you'll hold on
As
to
madam
it.
mentioned that 3 months.
So you're happy to do 6 months? Sorry, I didn't.
I'm saying the law should be equal to it for everyone.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I'm not being treated.
So you're saying 3 months, and you're saying six months. Okay, the committee can make a decision on that. Okay, let me make a note of that.
Put your mic on,
Sorry,
please.
is there the potential to review the 6 months if the problem persists?
Well, obviously, you'd have to make a complaint, and obviously, ultimately, it would lead to a review of the premises licence, but it will be... I think the committee will need to make a decision whether 3 months or 6 months is sufficient. I believe, from memory, we did 3 months with McDonald's.
Yes, it was 3 months for McDonald's.
Right, does anybody have any comments on the other bits of those, the other conditions in relation to number 2, apart from the litter log? Did you want to discuss the radius?
Well, yes, I don't think 20 metres is enough. I think we should just either clarify it by street or increase the radius. I don't think the radius needs to necessarily increase on the other side of the Earls Court Road. There's a couple of cul-de-sacs and that's about it. But I would think that the first portion of Longridge Road, Templeton, Nevin Place, is probably sufficient in the Earls Court Road. Perhaps Childs Street and Childs Place additionally. They're not very big areas to cover, but I wouldn't seek to go any further than that.
I think it's a good idea to be specific so we all know where we stand.
Childs Street, Childs Place, what else did you say?
Nevin Place, Templeton...
Up to Templeton Place,
Up
the
to
junction.
Templeton Place, Longridge up to Templeton Place, and the sort of Templeton Place in between those 2 streets and around that area.
That might be a bit excessive. I mean, Ms Johnson, can you just have a view from enforcement as to, because ordinarily the base condition, the model condition is normally within the vicinity of the premises, and obviously what is vicinity, it's usually within the direct locality. And obviously from an enforcement point of view, we need to make sure that any conditions are fair and proportionate and not too onerous on the business.
Yes.
Can I just have your view as well, please, Ms Johnson?
Thank you. Sorry, could I just have the streets again, please?
Yes, so Childs Street, Childs Place, and then Nevin Place and Longridge Road up to the junction with Templeton Place, and that section of Templeton Place in between them.
The Templeton Place has only 2 door accesses, number 26 and number 24 Nevin Place. So there are only 2 doors where people generally congregate for other things other than food. but there is nonetheless potential.
And where do you
for
think
stuff to be
20 metres would take you up to? Just where would the existing 20 metre suggestion kind
20
of
metres
end?
would probably take us up to 16 Nevin Place. It doesn't even get to Templeton, nowhere near.
16 Nevin.
Did you want to add something, Councillor Wade? Turn your mic on, please.
Looking at the next paragraph, the pavement from the building line to the curb immediately outside the premises should include, and I think we've got to clarify on the wording of regular. Just for clarity.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
What do you think
What do you
regular means?
suggest?
It's almost a record.
I think we've got the words where appropriate, which we also had in the McDonald's case, because obviously there's not necessarily going to be grease on the pavement every single day. So I think we need to be proportionate about.
I think we need to aim for some consistency here as
Yeah.
well. I think McDonald's, you advocated 5 times a day, was it?
That
And-
was, yes.
And I think that's obviously, they generate considerably more litter, so I would be advocating 3 times a day. But
What about 3 times a week?
to
For the
pick up litter,
degreasing?
for the cleaning, yeah, that's different.
I think where appropriate, because there won't necessarily be grease out there. It's only, when there is grease out there, otherwise you're going to put something on that's too onerous. Right,
But for litter patrols, I think a couple of times a day at least is required, and I think 1 at least at the end of the business hours. Just
I think there's a
I
difference.
agree with you. I'm with resident, I'll do that.
I think there's a difference between sweeping and actually using a degreasing thing.
Yes.
So I think sweeping is, throughout the day, whatever. But washing with a degreasing solution, it should be perhaps 3 times a week.
I think we discussed where appropriate, to be honest with you, because we put where appropriate on the McDonald's one, and there isn't necessarily going to be grease 3 times a week. So we need to be proportionate with
All right, so, you're saying McDonald's is 2 times a week to do the
3
degreasing?
times. Well, where appropriate. Where appropriate. If there's grease there 3 times a week, then it's appropriate to do it 3 times a week. But I don't think it's appropriate to put a specific amount of times. It's just if there is grease there attributed to the
So when you
premises.
say regularly, is your interpretation as being reasonable and commensurate on, this is specifically on the degreasing solution used?
I think the
which-
word regularly probably pertains to the previous bit, so I can rejig it. I think Mr. Khan has said he's prepared to do 3 litter pickups a day, have you?
It
that
was
what-
mentioned 2. I don't have any problem doing 3, but should be night because my business is very quiet during the day. We don't make any money. I don't think our littering is on the streets. But I will do it. And the second thing is with the cleaning pavement, Star Kebab is the only one place on Ulscote Road does cleaning the pavement, not any other business. If you walk on Ulscote Road, you will see the pavement on Star Kebab side, on the other side of the Ulscote Road as well.
So you clean the pavement
We
already?
do clean the pavement once or twice a week.
When you say clean, do you mean wash?
We wash with the Karcher. I hope there shouldn't be any complaint from the residents because Karcher makes noise. And we can only do it in night time. We can't do it during the daytime because the pedestrian, they walk a lot during the day, in the evening as well.
Okay.
No, it's the use of you can wash a pavement, but due to the extract coming out on a daily basis, the external from the frontage to Earls Court Road curb does need degreasing. And so washing is one thing, they can do that, that's fine, but I think degreasing is important given the position of the extra.
Is there any evidence of grease on the pavement now?
Can get slippy.
Sorry? Can get slippy. How is your oil stored? Is it in canisters?
Our oil store in the basement.
Yes, but when you take it out,
Sorry?
when you put it out and it's collected from the street,
The
you
guys,
put it out at a certain
whenever the
time.
collecting guys, they come in the basement and they take it direct to the van. We don't keep it outside our premises.
So it's not put on the pavement at all?
They don't put it, they just carry them and they take them to the van.
And a private collection, or is it the council that collects?
No,
the
not
oil?
council. Oil, no council, private collection.
So a private collection of
Rubbish.
the oil straight from the basement is not put on the pavement at all?
And under my premises. I even have showed that to Madam Wade last time when she visited me. We keeping the oil inside the premises in the restaurant, even though we're having a problem with hygiene department. Because we don't want to create a problem, I don't want have to have any problem with residents.
Okay,
So
and the basement is on the Nevern Place return, is it? Okay, fine.
No.
So it's lifted from the basement directly into the collection lorry. It's not put on the pavement, but does it drip when it's transferred? Is there any...
It is inside the restaurant, not in the basement. Inside the restaurant, after we open the door, the guy will collect the oil and he kept the oil in his van directly. He doesn't
Okay.
keep on the pavement.
Okay, so if it does drip, you will use a degreasing solution where appropriate to clean the pavement
Yeah, we do
in the
that.
event of that happening. Is that acceptable?
I think in the conditions, it's actually that they wash the pavement the frontage and the side every day. I'd just come back to the issue of when they go through the extraction, that because there is kind of acrid black smoke, that actually you see that there is a pattern emerging on the pavement. So I'm just saying, washing every day was already in their license, their conditions. I would ask that a degreasing solution, depending on what McDonald's do, is incorporated.
Thank you. Right, I think we've discussed this and the committee can make a decision on that. Thank you. Right, turning to number 3. Turning to number 3, I've just amended the wording. Are you happy with the wording in red for number 3, Mr. Khan?
Yes, madam.
Any comments on number 3? Turning to number 4, I've put the council's preferred wording. Are you happy with that preferred wording in red on number 4? Mr. Khan?
Yes, madam.
I'll just chip in if anybody's got any comments from the objectors or supporters.
Is it possible to ask Mr. Khan whether he's kept a record of, for example, the incidents that he's had with problems with the bike drivers? Have you kept a log of when those have happened?
Well, I suppose it is part of the conditions.
I did not keep any record. I didn't have any problem with them. When they speed that, I spoke to them. And I have mentioned that to you, even I have emailed it to the council on 19th of March 2025, and I have emailed that to Police Sergeant 4th of September 2025. I have these 2 records now.
I think if there's any complaints received, then that can fit in the incident log under D, and any other relevant incidents to be recorded, H. Right, moving on. Number 9. So we've established that up until 11 p.m. you can have delivery drivers. You've offered a condition when late night refreshment kicks in as a licensable activity. So from 11 p.m. until you open the following day, which is 11:30 a.m. all week, there will be no use of delivery drivers, either employed by you or Uber Eats, etc., to supply hot food and drink for consumption off the premises. That condition doesn't stop customers coming into your premises to eat in between those times or to collect food for themselves for those times. Are you happy with that condition?
I'm happy with that, madam.
Any comments over this side?
To remove the third line, remove hot. It's generally food. And
Well, late night refreshment is hot. It doesn't. Fiona's going to jump in here.
Yes, late night refreshment is the provision of hot food and or hot drink between 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. Bearing that in mind, I'm just concerned about the wording of that condition, whether that should say 5 a.m. rather than 11:30 a.m.
Yeah, I was toying with that. I mean, I just put 11:30 because that's when they open, but yes, I mean, strictly speaking, from 5 a.m, if he chose to open at 5 a.m, which he obviously isn't, then he could start serving hot food and hot drink unregulated, so to speak. But yes, I take on board what you're saying. But I think you're not opening till 11:30 anyway, and that's part of your application.
Sorry, I would just like to make a point on that, in that the purpose of this condition is to generate the balance of noise and nuisance to residents of the drivers, per se, and therefore actually the time at which one can serve hot food is not really relevant to the condition, in my view. It's relevant to the impacts to residents and creating a balance, and therefore 11 till, I would say, 7 a.m. is reasonable, perhaps 11:30 being a bit too aggressive should the business model change. But 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. I think the driver of the condition, not the ability to serve food. And just on the point of hot food, again, the point is to not have the drivers there at all. We can't have a situation where the drivers are picking up cold food to send to somebody to microwave.
Yeah, that's a good point. So obviously late night refreshment is between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m.
Yeah.
But you're saying that you don't open anyway until 11:30 a.m. each
No.
day of the week. So would you be willing to, I mean, strictly speaking, we should only restrict bikers between 11 and 5. Would you be willing to have the restriction between 11 p.m. and 11:30 a.m. when you open? Because you've said you won't be having bikers anyway until you open.
I'm not using any drivers, and after 5 o'clock, I'm not willing to open in
But
the
you
morning.
won't start using them until 11:30
11:30,
a.m. at the
yeah.
earliest when you open. Thank you. Numbers 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, I've only just slightly tweaked the format. They are standard conditions. Does anybody have any comments on number 10? Number 11? Number 12? Number 13? Number 14? Number 15? Right, moving on. These are conditions which, having looked at the objections that I've kind of picked out and going to open for discussion, ordinarily you'd have the police or environmental health kind of suggesting a CCTV condition, which hasn't been included, but I've noticed it's already on your existing licence and you've already confirmed that you have CCTV there anyway. Are you happy having condition 16 attached to your licence? CCTV.
Sorry, madam?
Are you happy having proposed condition 16, the CCTV
Yes, madam.
condition? Thank you. Number 17, management staff to proactively monitor the conduct and behaviour of customers, staff and delivery drivers on the public highway outside the premises and take all reasonable steps to ensure no noisy, rowdy or antisocial behaviour. Are you happy with that condition?
Yes, madam.
Thank you. Number 18, reasonable endeavours to ensure your delivery drivers behave in a manner that doesn't cause noise disturbance to occupiers of local properties surrounding area and at the delivery address. Are you happy with that?
Yes, madam.
Number 19, no music or amplified sound at the premises.
No music, madam.
Thank you. Number 20, delivery drivers to have access to your toilet if they need to go to the toilet?
I wanted to ask a question on this one.
Okay.
We're having a problem with delivery drivers. They're spitting on the street, they're spitting everywhere, they're giving problem. If they come and do the problems in my premises, in the toilet, if they mess, I'm gonna have a problem with the hygiene department as well. I'm gonna have a problem many problems. We don't know what they're going to do in the toilet. What they're doing on the street openly in front of everyone, if they goes in the toilet,
So-
just a question, if you want me to allow them, I don't have any problem.
So I'm talking about delivery drivers that are collecting from your premises, not just the general delivery drivers in the area.
Yes, who are collecting from my premises, they are
Yeah.
general delivery drivers who stands on Neverend's Place.
Because otherwise they're going to urinate in the street. I don't know if Mr. Stevens has got something to say.
One of the things I think that came out in the cross questioning was about access to the lavatory, whether you were a client or a delivery person. And I would therefore ask that, one, there should be clear signage within the store as to where the lavatory is and access to the lavatory. And then it would be, if the drivers came in to collect the food, they would know where the lavatory was. If their clients come in, they know where the lavatory is and they will have access. So I don't know how you word it, but I do think just saying somebody's got to ask for the lavatory rather than it is open, it's selling food, and therefore lavatories should...
I think the issues that have been raised in the objections are about the delivery drivers possibly causing the problems.
They're also in part about the general behaviour. If one trying to control a crowd late at night and they come out, say they perhaps been drinking, or I'm not saying or not, but they have a late night meal and they come out, I think that it would be a good condition just to ensure that the lavatory facilities are available and that there is clear signage in store.
Mr. Stevens.
I think given the, I mean, it's a very slightly different perspective here in that Mr. Khan has said that he's not really that interested in delivery drivers at all, and this doesn't really apply to the condition times. I think it's reasonable to put in a condition that says that the toilets will be available to patrons of the restaurant, because fundamentally I think this is directly relevant to the concerns Robert has around people that might be going into the restaurant, eating, and then basically relieving themselves after they've already left the restaurant. I think that is more of a problem than these delivery drivers. So having a toilet that is available to customers is far more important than the delivery drivers. And I would therefore suggest that we don't stipulate delivery drivers per se in this condition, and we stipulate customers, because that is the actual main concern for antisocial behaviour in the surrounding area.
Do you think it's actually just the general issue about people needing the lavatory that might have come into the store, might have eaten in the store?
Why don't we talk about the practical aspects and have Mr. Khan answer? Depends where his loo facilities are.
We're having problem with the delivery drivers, the spitting and all that. If you want me to do this, I don't have any problem, but that is a major issue. I don't know how they're going to use the toilet, how they're going to use the premises. That might be a problem for me in the future with hygiene department. We don't know when the hygiene department come and visit us.
Okay, so it looks like on the plan that you've just got a staff toilet downstairs in the basement, haven't you? There isn't a toilet on the ground floor.
Yes, madam.
Okay, so I think obviously late night refreshment is obviously between 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. and Mr. Stevens has suggested rather than that it should be for customers during operating hours. I'm not entirely clear. It's something I have to go away and look at what the law is on the provision of toilets. To be fair, I'd have to go away and double check that. Perhaps this is something the committee can go away and consider in the round.
Given the small number of deliveries that seem to take place, and his evidence from the activity, his revenue activity, I don't have a problem with this not being stipulated for delivery drivers, but I do think we need to have something for customers if it's possible at all, just
That's all-
to alleviate some fears.
Well, look, we have to look at it and see if it's possible. And obviously, you must have a rota to check the loos. Don't you have, especially if they are being used by customers or delivery drivers, you will have to have one of your staff inspect and clean the loos because you were worried about hygiene. So there is an answer to that, how to handle that.
Yes, madam, I do have it, but my main concern, how they keeping the street, what they gonna do with my toilets? That was
Well,
my
if
main
you're,
concern.
to be fair to the objectors, if you're introducing these people into your business, then they're probably going to think, well, is it okay for them not to kind of dirty up your place, but to do it on the street instead?
As you mentioned that the driver who collects the delivery from my shop, if they have the delivery in my shop, I don't have any problem giving them to use the toilet.
What, and customers, not just the
And
drivers?
customers as well.
Okay, thanks.
My customers, they use the toilet at my premises.
Currently use the toilet now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Many of
customers
them.
use the toilet now, and you're happy for them to continue to use the toilet?
Yeah.
And
I don't
delivery
have any
drivers
problem.
who are collecting? Okay,
They-
fine.
They need it.
And there should be clear signage.
Okay, right, that's good. Let's move on. Number 21, are you happy with that condition? That's just basically making sure that your staff are aware of the legal requirements and restrictions in relation to late night refreshment. Are you happy with that? And
Yes, madam.
Is it possible that we can, I don't know whether it's been applied, where we can ask that the training is repeated, just as a reminder, especially if you have new staff and having everybody just being a repeat every
you're
2 or
talking about
3 years.
refresher training. I mean, I think
Refresher training.
the committee can take that on board, but obviously this is a small business, so we need to be proportionate, but I'll put that down for the committee to consider. Thank you.
We can do it as an informative, maybe. Yeah.
This is a suggestion. Would you be willing to hold an annual meeting with residents just to discuss any issues that they might have?
I don't have any problem, madam. I would love to meet with residents. I want to solve the problem with residents.
You're happy with the wording of condition 22?
I am happy.
Thank you.
Can I ask for one every 6 months, please?
It might be a bit disproportionate for a small business, to be fair. I think we need to... we're not talking McDonald's here, we're talking a small business.
If we go back to the previous comment that the residents that live there that don't feel comfortable about or don't know the procedure to make complaints, actually this might be a less confrontational way of people coming forward.
Don't forget, you've also got the dedicated telephone number for them to ring, and obviously residents can also channel any issues through you as ward council as well. I mean, obviously it's for the committee to make the decision, not me. Mr Stevens?
Can I make a compromise suggestion in that ward councillors meet with the business every 6 months and residents have their opportunity every year?
I would add, if you accept that suggestion, I would add the residents association representatives.
I think the committee will make a decision on that issue. Right, okay. And then the final condition, obviously this is like a surrender type condition. I don't know if Ms Johnson's got any comments on the extra wording I put in the brackets too, because I think we had an issue with another premises. So obviously, ideally, from an enforcement point of view, we don't want two licences existing at the same time. So if this is granted, the council would require you to surrender your existing 2am licence before this licence comes into effect. Are you agreeable to that condition?
If I have 2 licenses, will be any problem?
Sorry, to explain, you already have a license. If we grant a new license, then you would have to surrender the original license so that it's not conflicting. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, I did understand. But the thing is, after I get this license, if the many residents, they complain, Then something happened. Then
You're saying if a new license is in jeopardy, you want to be able to rely on the old license. Is that what you're saying?
Is there any chances for me to keep both license?
Let's ask
I
licensing.
think licensing would have the answer for that. Fiona?
There is a facility to have more than one premises licence. However, you'll be subject to 2 separate annual fees. Because there'll be an overlap of times, I presume from 11 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock, we will need to know which licence is being used, because obviously they will have different conditions. So what we usually do is say if someone's applied for a new grant, to actually surrender the existing one, so it does make enforcement a lot easier. However, there's nothing wrong with you either keeping the first licence, or you could surrender the first licence and then apply for what's called a shadow licence, which most landlords do have for their businesses. So if something happens to the original licence, they've got something to fall back on.
there shouldn't be any problem me having two licenses. I don't have any problem paying for 2 licenses.
As long as it's made clear which licence you're using.
I'm going to use the till 5 o'clock license. I'm going to keep the 2 o'clock license.
Okay, so it's noted that you're not necessarily agreeable to that condition, and it's up to the committee to decide whether to impose that condition.
You're
or
the
not.
boss.
Right, that is all the conditions that I have kind of extracted from the objections. Is there anything else that I have missed that we need to consider as a condition, or?
I'm wondering, just with regard to the meetings twice a year, how will Mr. Khan know who to contact? He needs to know that.
Could Councillor Wade do what she agreed to do with the McDonald's committee and provide Mr. Khan with a list of people, of residents' associations to contact for the purposes of the
I think
residents'
that
meeting?
this is his double whammy because I'm the chair of the Nevern Square Conservation Area Residents Association, but also it's the Earls Court Village RA that need to be included, plus the Earls Court Society.
So the Nevern Place, sorry, what was your one? Can you repeat it again? Nevern Place. What was your residents' association called?
Nevern Square
Nevern Square, sorry.
Conservation Residents Association, and then you have the
Earls Court Society.
Earls Court Village RA,
Yep,
and then you have the Earls Court Society.
those 3. Okay, thank you, I've noted
No,
that.
there's more than 3.
Madam, was it once a year or twice a year?
I think what has been suggested is having a meeting with ward councillors. Was it ward councillors once a year and residents? Ward councillors once a year. Sorry.
I think the business should meet with ward councillors every 6 months. If there are objections or concerns from the residents, then a meeting no less than annually would be appropriate. If there aren't any concerns, then why force a meeting?
How about initially the first 6 months and then revert to 12 months?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is the councillors or the representatives of the residents, and I think it's important that they meet with the premises. If there are concerns with residents, then I think then you open it up to a residents' meeting, should there be the weight of issues. But you just have that proviso that it's open to do it if the issues exist.
I think that's a good idea, actually.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's easier for Mr. Khan, considering it's a small business. Yes, Councillor Wade?
In the past, when we've discussed conditions for other locations, we have considered that chairs of residents' associations are included. And I think that because it would only be about 5 or 6 people at the meeting, that actually this is perhaps a way of getting Earls Court Village to ensure that they can inform their residents how they can make comment. I just feel this kind of engagement is actually what we need at the moment if we're trying to seek to redress the balance between businesses and residents.
Did you want to add something, Mr. Stevens?
I just think that somebody from the council should chair that meeting so that it's moderated. Otherwise, it could turn into a one-sided vendetta meeting, which often happens in various guises.
Okay, we'll take that on board and discuss it in private. Thank you. Do our licensing officers have anything to add? Sorry, Fiona. Yeah.
Just one thing, which is really minor, but I believe there was some reference earlier to a premises called Miss Q being subject to review. For note purposes, I'd just like to say that the premises was called Ping at the time, P-I-N-G.
Oh, Ping, okay. Thank you. And do our governance officers have anything to add?
Nothing from us. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you for your time. Okay, we've reached the end of this meeting. Thank you for a very productive meeting. Thank you for your contributions to the conditions. We will take everything on board and discuss in private. We will retire to make our decision. We will not announce the decision today. Instead, the hearing will be closed. A summary determination will be sent to the parties within 5 working days of today's hearing, and a full decision will follow as soon as possible thereafter. The time limit for appealing the decision will not commence until the full decision has been sent to the parties. Thank you all for attending. And I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.